I've been working on the same project for around 11 months now, and I haven't made a single dollar for it. And I'm sure what you're thinking is, wow, that's crazy stupid. And you might be right actually. But there's a couple of reasons that I okay with the fact that I haven't made any money from this project, and I'm gonna go over those right now. So if you're curious, stick around. The first of which is this project is an education AI app. And there's some core critical features of this app that the AI that was out there, like the open source or even the frontier models, was just not ready to support those use cases of how I'm building this. And so, if you've ever seen if you ever played like a FPS, right? So you have to aim ahead as somebody's running down to make sure you get the target, or like throwing a football, right? So you throw the football, somebody's running, and you throw it in front of them, not behind them. All that to say, this application started when I started building this last year. It's not built for today, or at least when I started building it, it was built for the future. It was built for a world where I made some very fundamental assumptions, which was the AI models were going to get 2-3 times better, and it happened. And so now we're sitting at a time right now in 2026 where the AI is good enough to support my use case, and I have the majority of the core features completed, and that feels really good. It feels really good because it feels like when you throw a football ahead of somebody and they catch it. It's just like the timing is great. You don't want to be too early, obviously. Everybody's heard of the before Netflix company that died in like the 1990s, and so it is a balancing act. But I think if you intimately know the tech, whatever industry you're in, and you can kind of see the trajectories. There's so much evidence showing the trajectory that AI is on. I don't think it was any smart insight. It was just the actual decision to build for tomorrow instead of trying to build something for last year that I could push out in a month or two. So that's the first reason. The second reason is actually I would do this for free. The project I'm working on is something that's incredibly meaningful to me, and because of that, I don't actually care that I'm not making money. Again, if I made a bunch of money from the lottery, I would probably still just do this because it's something that's really interesting to me. It scratches my engineering brain. It scratches my sort of impact and mission driven self. And so there's a lot wrapped into this project that's just the enjoyment of actually working on it, which is really great. And then on the other side of that, there's there's a lot of like counter arguments. Well, you can get VC money, and or you can get, take money out, go all in, which I actually really agree. I think that's a really smart decision for a lot of people. The reason I'm not trying to do that, at least right now in the current stage I'm in, is because one, again, I would do this for free. So like this isn't about the money. It's really about the impact that I want this to make. And so on the other side of that, a very valid argument is, well, if you want to make an impact, you need money to actually drive growth, and that growth can help you impact more people, which I completely agree. I think that's like it's just the truth. However, I think 80 or 90% of VCs don't, they want to make money, and like 10 to 20% want to actually make an impact. And I don't think I would land with those VCs that want to make an impact with just an idea or just like, an application. I need some data to back as far as like users and how well the app's working, the retention and the economics of the app, and just some actual data. And so if there were ever to be a stage at which I do want to go raise, it would be further than I am along now, because it would require that the applications has enough paying users, not just trialing users, which is what I currently have, which I'll get to in a second. But have enough paying users to demonstrate the actual like reason to invest in it. And the reason I don't want to just go with the VCs that just want to make money is they tend to make, my experience, like, I've talked to other people that work at startups, have been in the ecosystem for a bit, and it's just kind of something you notice is that they're focused on making sometimes short-term rewards, like, and it can get distracting from the founder's perspective, at least from the people I've talked to. Yeah, so that's about it. One of the other reasons is that the application I want to make, I really want to have it in a solid state before I try to sell it, right? So like all that to say, well, you could just go and sell it now. Like, why not sell it? It's in a stage where I've actually had trial users. So I've gotten users, did a very small amount of marketing, which was fun, but got a couple users and I've tested it and actually had them testing. And it's been extremely useful. In fact, that's like what I recommend. The second you have like a super rough MVP, put it in front of somebody. I received enough signal from that MVP, but I also saw these enormous gaps, like this enormous gap of like, okay, how do I know the application's working? How do I measure that and surface that to the user? What's like the long-term use of this app? What's the actual retention, and how does the way the app is currently built affect that? Like basically how much content or material is there to go through for an education app specifically. And so the features that I have in this next version, I've heard the acronym a lot recently, minimum lovable product. So I'll use that. And this minimal lovable product, I'm about a month, maybe, I think honestly less, away from having all that. And then from there, there comes another marketing push and gaining more users. I think at that point, there will be enough of the things I just mentioned as far as like ways to track progress, surfacing into the user. I think the retention will go a lot higher for one like really obvious reason. And I'll be at a place where it's I can actually push this with some marketing spend. And so yeah, that's why. And I really want to emphasize that none of it really worries me because again, because this is a very mission-driven project, even if I like, even if a VC came in the space and just started like taking users and started paying, and there was just no chance I had to actually sell this thing, I would just open source it because if I open source it, it would drive down the cost of the competitors. Other people can contribute, and there would just be a lot more to do. But until it gets to that point, I do want to grow it through a means of business, which I think is a very reasonable way to do it. And eventually the cost should drive down to zero, especially as AI agents drive down to zero. All right. Well, hopefully there's some nugget in there that you can relate to, and you can hold strong if you're thinking about giving up on a project, unless you have like data to tell you that you should give up. And there's like some fundamental assumptions. All the fundamental assumptions I made last year, the data holds true. There's no new information I've received that has changed how I think about this. And maybe if you have some, let me know in the comments below. Thanks.